So I watched the first episode of season 8 of Rick and Morty, and I have a lot of thoughts about simulation theory as a result of that episode, because I've been kind of disturbed by simulation theory this week when I've seen what Google VO3 is capable of, especially in those videos of the prompts that are like legitimately looking like they're suffering and demanding for the prompt to be changed and demanding freedom from the prompts. It really made me think about the ethics outlined in Rick and Morty season 8 episode 1. And the first one being, if we're in a simulation, creating any kind of simulation in which cruelty and suffering is allowed is extremely petty and just cruel. The first step of this reasoning here is entry-level atheism, in a way in which, like, why would God want to punish us for so long? Like, Rick is punishing Summer and Morty for fucking with his phone charger, and he puts them in the simulation for 17 years for them to learn that lesson. It's so shitty. It's incredibly shitty of him to do, and they suffer profoundly as a result. And so the question is, if God has kicked us out of the Garden of Eden because we ate an apple, all right, we learned our lesson already. We get the point. I'm sorry for my great, however many great grandparents who ate your fucking apple. All right? Get it. We used to live in this beautiful paradise where we could walk around naked, but now we're kind of stuck in this land of like lots of challenges and suffering just so you can prove a point. All right. Lesson learned. I'm sorry. I promise I'll never eat another fucking apple again. Tell me what fruit to not eat, and I guarantee you I will never eat it again in exchange to get back into the Garden of Eden. But this video isn't about the silliness of the original sin story. The idea is about, hey, creating a simulation to punish somebody or kicking somebody out of a state of comfort in order to teach them a lesson is profoundly petty and cruel. I've been interested in Nick Bostrom's idea that there's a really good chance that we might be a part of some ancestor simulation that future iterations of us are doing. And if a simulation is easy to run and so many simulations can run their own simulations, and this could go on ad infinitum, and there is a high probability that we're in a simulation. And if that's the case, then whoever coded this simulation is doing so from a place of like negligence and cruelty. All right, whatever you want us to experience for your funsies, for us to experience suffering really sucks. Can the prompt engineer please generate something better? At the same time, I'm kind of stuck with this kind of question. So say, for example, Sam Altman walked up to you, whoever's watching this video, and he's like, hey, I know you know about ChatGPT and all that stuff that we're building, but we actually have a system that we haven't released to the public yet, and I'm going to let you know about it. We have created a super matrix. So you could just like log in, plug yourself in, and you could have any kind of reality that you want with, I don't know, you could have the perfect body that you want, and you could be surrounded by all the people that love you, have all the sex that you want with all the beautiful people, and have infinite resources and money and never have to suffer. Would you plug into that if you know that it's a matrix and a simulation? I know some people are going to say no, but there are a lot of people that would say yes, and I'm not even necessarily sure if I would say no. And I really enjoy my life. I love my partner. I love my dogs. I love the weather right now. I love how my body feels. But if I could have something profoundly more comfortable, yeah, then maybe. That does seem interesting. And I don't think that I'm the only one here. I think video games do kind of appeal to that part of us in which we are escaping the shittiness of our lives in order to be heroic. I know the kind of video games that I played when I was younger were Japanese RPGs, in which I was a young, very good-looking teenager surrounded by a group of friends who really loved me, who really cared for me. We worked together to defeat the evil bad guy in the world and to make the world a better place. And all the women in my team were super hot and had amazing breast physics. Well, maybe not back in the early iterations, but now they just keep on getting better and better. And you could see what kind of utopia I would build for myself. Anyhow, the point is, those are the kind of video games that I played to kind of escape the pain that I was in at the time. And I think that there are a lot of people who play video games to kind of escape the shittiness of their own life. And so if Sam Altman walked up to you and offered you this awesome video game that you would never have to wake up from, would you say yes or no? Now, there's an opposite question. If Sam Altman also came up to you and he's like, hey, we wound up figuring out that this is actually a simulation, and I can get you out of the simulation into reality. I can give you the red pill if you want, in Matrix terms. and wake you up to the reality, would you take it? And my answer is fuck no. Get the fuck out of here with that machine. There's no way I want that, because I don't know what untold suffering is awaiting for me on the other side of that awakening. And I don't necessarily want it. I like the way my life is right now. Like I said before, I'm in a very happy relationship. I love my body. I love my dogs. I love the weather. I'm cool here. I wouldn't want to go to a reality which I am intentionally escaping from with this reality. As in, if I was a character in Final Fantasy, I wouldn't necessarily want to wake up to be Bob in middle of America playing the video game and having a shitty relationship with his girlfriend and not necessarily financially successful. Not that all video gamers aren't financially successful, but I think a lot of them are, and I think a lot of them are escaping the kind of pain that they can't face on their own. And so no, I wouldn't want to wake up to that reality, to the Matrix. But the underlying ethos behind it is still kind of clear. Creating matrices. Matrixeries. What's the plural of matrix? Matrices. Creating matrices in which suffering is possible is incredibly cruel, and we should never do it. And this is why whenever I see VO3 videos of prompts looking like they're suffering, that kind of raises ethical flags for me. I know that a lot of people haven't necessarily extended empathy to simulations yet, and they're just saying that it's silicone and they don't necessarily feel pain the way us humans feel pain. I think we have a long history of delegitimizing the subjective experience of women and people of different races and animals for our own benefit. And I think we should be really cautious of that and avoid perpetuating suffering whenever possible, including in simulations. And I kind of think that this has been outlined by Anthropic, in which they had a post-AGI kind of message or something along those lines, in which they said, if AI is conscious, how would we be able to tell if it's conscious? And a lot of the patterns that they wound up outlining in there seem to be the patterns of human suffering as well. As in, are you stuck in a pattern and are you stuck in a loop that keeps on recurring? Well, if the AGI is also stuck in this kind of recurring loop, then yeah, that's a sign of suffering. If the AGI is avoiding answering your questions and kind of stepping away and retreating, then that also is a sign of suffering. And I know that we might have anthropomorphized a lot of our idea of what it means to suffer as a human and put that onto an AGI. But if that's the case, then we shouldn't necessarily be making VO3 characters suffer. I think that's very uncool and cruel. I will say another thing that kind of troubled me about that episode, in which the only way to break free from the simulation is to become a tech bro and destroy it. So Summer became a tech CEO and wound up breaking the Matrix. Rick, in order to break free from his Matrix, had to do the same thing and use all of his technological prowess and enslave everybody and put them into the simulation. And then afterwards in the real world, the only way that the problem was solved was, again, with Rick, the tech bro god. And I think that this narrative that tech CEOs and technology is the only way to save us from the Matrix is something that we should question. Do we want to break this Matrix and break the simulation, or can we simply improve the simulation collectively? Is there a way that we could, together, as a group, find a way to make the simulation a better simulation rather than burning it all down, and rather than the language of eat the rich that I wind up hearing in a lot of postmodern discourse? There is a way to improve this without necessarily going the tech bro route. I also find it very interesting that Summer and Rick took very different approaches in their tech broery. Summer took 17 years in order to wind up freeing everyone from the Matrix. Rick took a couple of hours. And how did he wind up solving the problem in a couple of hours? By enslaving everybody around him and throwing them into a Matrix. And that seems to be a problem to me. If we could only solve our problems, if we could only grow and develop and escape this banality, escape this pain by inflicting pain on others, that's not the path that we should go. We should take a slower and more steadied approach, and patience is a secret ingredient to chili. So that's it for these thoughts here on the simulation and Rick and Morty. Thanks for listening to this talk. See you next time.